In exercise 902, you're just going to continue with the same mathematical process as you've used in 901. So no new maths. However, the questions are going to be different. The way they give you the information will be different. And because its focus is on maps and plans, then you are going to actually physically need to measure some distances. So you will need a ruler, and you will use the values that you measure in order to go on and answer the question. So make sure you're using your ruler, or make sure you've got a ruler. And also remember that if there is a scale, that the units in the scale have to be the same. That then allows you to measure with a ruler, and you can measure in millimetres, and if you're calculating a real distance, it will be in millimetres. Or if you measure in centimetres, the real distance will be in centimetres. So expect to get some fairly large numbers and do your appropriate conversion. Let's have a look at the example. If the map distance between two towns was measured to be 17 millimetres, and we know that we're going to set up fractions with the map distance in the top and the real distance in the bottom, because that's the order in which a scale is presented. So we would have our map distance at 17 millimetres. Our real distance we don't know about yet. The scale used was 1 centimetre to 4 kilometres. Now, some problems with that. We can't have different units. So we need to do some work on the side before we can create a nice equation here by putting in our second fraction. So what do we know? 1 centimetre, let's stay with that, 1 centimetre. But what do we know about 4 kilometres? If we multiply 4 by 1,000, we get to metres. And then we want to get to centimetres, and every metre has just 100 centimetres. So the scale 1 centimetre to 4 kilometres becomes the scale 1 is to and that is 1 is to 400,000, and we can write that as our fraction. Find the real distance between the two places. So that's x. Now, although we set up our ratio in centimetres, doesn't mean now that we have to be working in centimetres. Once we set up our ratio using the same units, we drop the units off. And that's what is so good about a ratio. It doesn't matter now whether we're working in centimetres or millimetres or metres. The scale is 1 is to 400,000. So to find x, we will cross multiply, and we get 6,800,000. See what I was saying about be prepared to get some very big numbers. But they're millimetres, and we wouldn't talk about a real distance on a map in terms of millimetres. So let's convert that to something more realistic. If we divide it by 1,000, which would take those last 3 out, then we're back to metres. And if we divide by another 1,000, which would move the decimal point to 6.8, move it back here, then we're in kilometres because there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre. So we'd say the real distance between the two places was, or is, 6.8 kilometres.